Guys, what's going on? It's the Block Bull right back now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now, a big shout out to all the Discord members. Link is down below in the description if you guys want to join. Before we dive into it, make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're not already, and we shall get into the Onyx XCN news. So first and foremost, I do have on front of our screens right here the testnet for Goliath. So this is the official countdown. As you can see, we are currently looking at 1 day, 8 hours and 2 minutes away. This could potentially happen sooner. So it's funny how some of these decent, I believe these are decent coins, yeah. These are utility coins. Now, it's funny how a lot of fundamental sort of on-chain upgrades, even testnets, are almost coinciding with sort of fundamental analysis in terms of the real world. For instance, we have the government looking at a shutdown now. So government is potentially going to happen. The odds are more in favor of a shutdown. I think I read an article earlier on today, and approximately, I think it's about 63-64% chance that governments are going to be shutting down from today. So Trump will be meeting with congressional leaders. So in this article, it talks about how rare these shutdowns are, why investors shouldn't worry. So we'll just skip through there. I've already watched the video. I don't want to play the video just in case it sort of duplicates on YouTube, and YouTube sort of, deem it as copyright, etc. Okay. So what is a government shutdown? A government shutdown transpires when the United States Congress is unable to gather the minimum number of votes needed to pass an appropriation payments from the US Treasury. So this is this could be temporary. More often than not, they do get resolved within a matter of days. So there could be a flash crash. However, from this video, the video that I've watched anyway, guys, it's basically saying that stocks typically are indifferent. Now, what she also said is more often than not, the S&P 500 rallies as opposed to falling in value, guys. Okay, so it's not as if it affects the market a great deal, is what this is saying. Now, how that sort of transpires into the crypto market, we're yet to really see. Crypto's only been around like 10-15 years, and a lot of the altcoins that we're involved in as well have probably only been around 2, 3, 4, 5 years in some cases. Obviously, you've got the classic sort of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, which has kind of been around since sort of day dot. But let's just have a look. How rare are government shutdowns? So government shutdowns are relatively rare. Over the past 20 years, there has been 4 major government shutdowns. History suggests that extended shutdowns are extremely rare. For instance, half the government shutdowns over the past 20 years were resolved within 3 days, which is what I've just been saying. In 2018, the government shut down for 35 days over a US-Mexico border dispute during the first Trump presidency. Now, we all know what happened when Donald Trump took the first presidency. Altcoin season went absolutely bonkers. People that was involved in the likes of XRP and other altcoins that was around at that time, Litecoin, etc., made an absolute killing, guys. So is this going to happen again? Who knows? Yeah, I've not got a mystic ball. Do you know what I mean? I cannot tell the future, but it's looking. You know what? Whilst these are happening, anything can happen. Yeah, anything can happen. But I like historical data, and I also like to know what happened historically when these sort of events played out. So like that reporter was saying in the video, you guys have not watched it, but you can do. Yahoo Finance. I'm sure you can find the article in there. More often than not, the markets do rally. Okay, so we're going to get into the charts now. The charts are literally coming into a pivotal point now. So what we're going to do in today's video is we're actually going to apply 2 different indicators. Obviously, we've got the most important one that we don't really often use just because, I know roughly where it is, and that's a 200-day institutional moving average. This is where typically anytime the price does come under this blue line, this is where institutions are buying and accumulating digital assets, not just necessarily Onyx XCN. So that's a 200-day moving average, and we have been trading under this specific 200-day since around end of July back here. We've been dipping and then we've been recovering, dipping, but there's been this prolonged period now of this sort of accumulation now, which is where I do believe market makers have probably been taking retail traders crypto. A lot of retail are probably, sort of deflated with price action because, there's not been a lot of euphoria in the market, especially when it comes to Onyx XCN. So I'd imagine just gaining a little bit of a sentiment from, other social media sites like X. And then people just in the comments as well. If I post anything about Onyx XCN coin, it's almost like people have generally given up. And again, it just with the views as well on the videos, you can tell people are losing a little bit of interest and people are dropping off. So ultimately, they are going to, sell their bags ultimately. But I do believe Onyx XCN coin is in a beautiful space right now. And again, just to keep it simple, we do have these yellow sort of lines coming in. Again, we are still creating a wedge. So there's many different types of wedges. Ultimately, we could have been looking at this one here. Yeah. But ultimately, these can continue. Yeah, all it takes is a fake out, and then what you're doing is you're having to rejig the macro. So the macro's still intact. It just means you're having to widen the symmetrical triangle, which is frustrating for retail traders. So I feel your pain. Do you know what I mean? I want gains sooner rather than later. But ultimately, I do believe we are going to break upwards, and it's just a matter of time, guys. Okay, so we are coming in here. You can see where the bottom of this support is now coming in around sort of 31st of August is when we started creating this sort of trend line for the support. We've obviously got a pop to the upside, and then we continued and we've actually bounced and caught upon support. So we're still at support and we're still actually trading into this wedge, into this apex. Now, some people are going to be screaming at the screen, at the charts, and they could be saying, "Why, if you're actually marking out support from the sort of lowest closes, why don't you do that to the actual high closes?" Well, I could do that, but again, we are waiting. So I like to have a little bit of optimism. It gets me through the week. I know some people can obviously have sort of expectations set, and if they're not met, then they're just sort of deflated. But ultimately, if we're stretching this out and we are actually accommodating, rather than fake outs, actually seeing this as resistance coming in, ultimately we could be trading into sort of November time. Okay, and I do believe we have got another Fed meeting where we will be cutting interest rates. I believe it's around the 28th of October. Usually Fed meetings happen on a Wednesday, so I forget now when the exact date is. I'm guessing it's 29th of October. You guys can fact check me on that one. I'm sure it'll be over Tuesday and Wednesday. So this is probably where the apex is coming in for me. Based on the macro. So we could be waiting until the end of October. That's approximately 4 weeks. Can we break out sooner? Absolutely, because we have got the Goliath testnet. We have got the shutdowns as well with the government, which is highly probable at this stage. I think the bookies have us over 60% odds to actually for Donald Trump to close the government. So yeah, it's all in play at this moment in time, guys. But if we just have a look at the crypto bubbles here on the week, we can see a lot of cryptos are doing really well. We have got QNT up 16.1%. We've got some utility coins in the green, for example, like XRP, Velo. Also got ZBEC as well. And these other coins on the weekly aren't down so much. Onyx XCN coin, that was, we kind of specialize over on this channel. We're down 1.9% over the week. If we take a look at the day, it is a strong day now. That is, that's great news. The fact that Donald Trump is looking at closing the government down, shutting it down today, or at least by the 1st of October, should I say, which is when they need the number of votes to come in to actually, continue running as it is. We're looking really good. Look at this Veracity VRA, one of my favourite picks, up 8.1%. XCN also up there, 1.3%. But like I say, guys, the macro structure is absolutely huge. Massive bull pennant coming out of this sort of 20x since US elections down there. Let me just clone that line. 5th of November, around there. Oh, hellfire. 5th of November when I take it back. Very sensitive. There you go, 5th of November. Got that massive rally all the way up there. Absolutely beautiful. Really, that's almost like a 4,000%. I wish I was in Onyx at these laws down here at the time of US elections. Jesus. 4,000%. Is that like a 41x? 40x. And we know it did a 20x in the space of like 12 days. And I think it's from around this sort of section here. Around first, second week of January, it ran up around 2,000%. So that's where majority of the gains came. And that was like the sort of flagpole to the sort of bull pennant. So when these macros bust, this has taken all the way since end of January now. So this has been about 9 months in the making. So once we get that bust up, you're looking at a 20 to 40x. And I've always said 30 cent taking profit. So you know what, anywhere between 20 and 40x, if you're taking that middle ground 30x at current prices, you're getting 1 XCN for 1 cent. Take the 30x. See you later. You can sail off into the sunset on your mega yacht. So this is absolutely brilliant, guys. It's not called Goliath or anything, but we'll see what happens anyway. I'm not going to get my hopes up over the Goliath testnet. It is only testnet, guys. It's testnet. Okay, so they will literally be testing the waters. Hopefully testnet is positive, and then obviously they'll probably run a pilot, I would imagine. And then after a couple of months, obviously that mainnet would be coming. But I don't think they're looking at launching mainnet until Q1 of next year, guys. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it all goes positive. Even if it's positive, the markets may front run. We may get a solid move to the upside. So, let's just stay optimistic, guys. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're not already, and join the Discord as well, guys. If you guys want to stay in contact, so you want like daily charts with any sort of requests and that, feel free to join up. We've got a 3-day free trial going at the moment. So, link is down below in the description for that, guys. Till next time, I've been the Block Bull. The Block Bull is over and out.